I am here in Medjugorje. I'm in Cafe Craze and I'm with, what's your name?
Karen Canavan.
Karen, where are you from?
I'm from Melbourne in Australia.
Wow, first time here in Medjugorje?
No, this is my 4th time.
What is Medjugorje for you?
Medjugorje for me is, it's peace and it's prayer for ourselves, my husband and I, our children, our families and the world.
Santa Lucia Fatima said the battle is for the family. You have a family, you have children. What do you tell people? How can you guard the family to have a healthy family life, Catholic, healthy family life?
Yeah, well, we're no different from other families. We struggle and struggle with our faith, with day to day, with people. And I think you just have to keep calling on Our Lady and God just to surround your family and take everything day by day so that it's not all too much. So even hour by hour, sometimes minute by minute, it's because sometimes even that minute's just too hard. So I think, you know, we just have to be able to step back and say, it's all right. It's okay not to be able to deal with it, you know, because the next minute could be better.
And so it is often, no?
And it is, yeah.
It's a test.
It's
God
a test.
says,
It's a
I
test.
test you.
Yep.
And people search here for their vocations. How did you know that you should be a mother of a family, that you should get married? And how did you know that your husband would be from God? Did you ask that at the time or did that just happen?
To be honest, when I was growing up, I never thought really much about being a mum or getting married. Mm-hmm. I guess I just coasted along. Yeah. So, and when I met John, he was actually in a relationship with somebody else. So, that wasn't even a thought. And then that relationship broke up and we were friends. And then, unbeknownst to each other, we were going out for about 6 months, but unbeknownst to each other, we both privately did a novena to ask God, is this the person that I'm meant to marry? And he didn't know I was doing one. I didn't know he was doing one. And on the last day of that novena, we were in Melbourne and we were at a church where the Divine Mercy image was at the front of the altar. And John said, oh, we'll just go and kneel down and say a prayer at the front. So I did. I went up there and John asked me to marry him in front of the Divine Mercy image. So I knew straight away that was the answer to my prayer. It was. It was the answer.
So guys, girls out there, pray a novena. Which novena it was? Is there a special novena?
To be honest, I think it was St. Joseph from memory, because I do St. Joseph. We have a son called Joseph. Yeah. Very devoted to St. Joseph. Yeah.
So it would have been St. Joseph. St. Teresa of Avila asked St. Joseph, you will get the answer.
Yep. Yeah.
And always been Catholic, never went astray?
Oh, no, I've always been Catholic. And, but yeah, I did go astray. I have a similar story to John. My best friend who was married to my cousin, she passed away when she was 28. And it was 3 days after she'd had her first baby. And she actually, I was there and she died on my birthday. She'd had a brain hemorrhage, the same as John's sister. But I didn't know John then. And then 6 months after that, my grandmother, who I grew up and lived with my family, she passed away. And I just think, and my faith was fragile at that point anyway. It had always been fragile. And that turned me right away. I was just so angry. I was so upset. I just couldn't understand why God would allow something like that.
And why does he allow it? What are you looking back now?
Looking back, I think I often think of it like a tapestry. It's like on the front, it's all beautiful and it looks great. On the back, it's a big mess. And that's me on the back. I'm the big mess, but God's got a beautiful tapestry at the front. And even though I honestly don't think I will know why these deaths occurred and even the loss of our daughter, I can guess, but I won't really know until I meet God. And coming to places like Medjugorje has helped me to accept that there is a reason, and perhaps I'm not meant to know it until I do meet God. and he'll let me know. And until then, I trust him. I trust that there is a purpose, there's a reason, and I believe Kathleen's helping us from heaven. She's been a part of our lives in a massive way, and we pray to her all the time, and I know she comes through.
What do you tell people? My father lost my sister, my brother. What do you tell people who lose children? This is an unimaginable pain for parents.
We had no warning either, so we didn't get a chance to say goodbye, which was really, we all struggled with that. And you always say, oh, I could have said this if I'd have known, I would have done this, I wouldn't have done that. And that goes on forever. And even now, every now and then it comes up and you think, oh, well, I wish I would have said this before she left. Because I rang her. She was away from home that time visiting John's father. And I rang her and she was busy and she didn't answer. So I never got to speak to her before she passed away. But it's devastating. There's no way around it. It's like the rug being pulled out from under you. You don't know what to do, and it's surreal. It's not real. And even now, I still expect her sometimes to walk in the door, or to ring me, or or even I see sometimes one of the kids will turn around to the girls, and they are just in that moment they look like her,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for a split second. It's like, well, and so there's no way around it. It's devastating, but you have to just put your trust in God and just try and let it out. And then in some way help someone else. If they're suffering the same, sometimes you can only sit with them because there is no words. We had amazing support. Yeah, we really did. It was just, God placed incredible people in our lives to help us through. But at times there's nothing anyone can say.
Yeah.
They just can't. It's just, you just have to sit with God, because I know that she's with him.
Yeah.
So if I sit with him, I'm sitting with her.
So beautiful what you say. Medjugorje is called the confessional of the world.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell people? They come here 20 years, haven't been at confession. They are scared to go. What would you tell them? Why not to be scared to go to confession?
I get scared. I get scared sometimes and nervous. And sometimes I think I'll be embarrassed about what I say.
Yeah.
But I go because I know that the priest is only in the place of God. And I'm actually talking to Jesus. And I went to confession yesterday to a priest, and I was really nervous. And I kneel at confession. And so I don't see the face. But he was sitting there and I was kneeling, and I looked up and he just looked straight through me. It was just like, and I just thought, and I couldn't look away. And I was listening to everything, and I was looking straight in the eyes. And it really is like, it's coming from Jesus. It is him. So, you are talking to Jesus, and he'll never judge us, and he'll never let us down. So, and he wants us to come. He wants us to tell us what's in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
So, and nothing's too much for him.
And a lot of people think God the Father is an angry old man with a white beard, wants to judge us, happy we make the mistake, and he can send another one to hell. But that's not God the Father.
No.
It's the devil, actually.
It is. It's Satan trying to scare us to come to God. It's just,
how is God the Father, really?
He's loving, he's compassionate, he's all powerful, and he's our Father. So we should always be able to go to our Father with anything. And and with his heart, he sees everything. He knows us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. So we just shouldn't be scared to go to him. Mm.
And we have in the Catholic Church the biggest gift, the Eucharist. When we are in a state of grace,
Yep.
we are in charge of order. The world is in disorder, but we have an order to joy and peace and fullness. The Eucharist, what is the Eucharist? Can you explain? A lot of Catholics, even they don't know it anymore. They're like,
Yep.
they ask questions, and
Yep.
Catholics, they don't know it.
Yep. Well, I think it's life. I mean, it is it's everything. It's who we are. It's what we believe. It's where we're going. It's real, and there's no way around that. When when it's consecrated bread and wine, it is him. So, and there is no way around that. He's there, and it's God the Father. So, yeah, and I believe that with all my heart. I believe that, and so we should respect him in that way.
Did you have a deep experience? Jesus calls it to be reborn in the Spirit. Did you have a deep experience with Christ that you are so passionate and that you believe?
Oh, look, I think it's always been there because of my mum and my grandma. They're very faithful, incredibly faithful.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, I think we're on the journey till the day we die. So I think every single day I try and learn more. And I think it's a shame if we think we've learned enough and we know enough. I think right up until the day I die, I hope I learn something about God and Jesus and the faith. And I don't know anywhere near what other people, but I want to feel it, not just know it. I want to be able to actually feel it. And I just
then we
think,
believe, no?
yeah, then we believe. It's a feeling. It's an emotion, and it's an attachment to God that should never be broken.
Yeah.
Mm.
You feel sometimes the love of
Absolutely.
overwhelming love of God the Father,
Yep.
to Our Lady maybe, or
Yep.
Jesus.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And our faith is about a personal relationship with Christ. You talk to Jesus like a friend
Yeah, I think
about
he
sorrows,
is.
pains.
Yep. Yeah, he is my friend. Yeah, yeah.
And he's alive.
And Kathleen's with him, and my Delia's with him, my mum's with him, and yeah, well, he's real. So
How do you know he's real? People say you can't see him.
No, but we can't see the air, and we know we can breathe it, and we live. So it's
You see it through coincidences, God incidences, we call it.
Oh, I believe in God incidences.
Yeah, you saw it?
I don't think anything's by chance. I really don't.
You saw too often things
Yeah, I think just people like when,
like how
we've
we
been
did now.
talking to you the last couple of days, chatting.
How is the kangaroo doing?
It's the kangaroo. And and I just think even sometimes we don't realise that we can look back and go, oh, I didn't even realise that person said this or did this, and and maybe God put that person there to do it or say it, but you don't realise at the time. It's only when you reflect that you realise. And we can all go off the path, but God will always send you someone, like an angel in disguise. It would just send someone to turn you back in, whether we want to or not. It's our choice. We have free will, and but I think we actually know when we're making a good choice. Yeah,
It's a deep knowing in the heart.
It's a knowing. Yeah.
How can we have the Holy Spirit in our lives?
I think we just have to be open to him, and just not question everything. Sometimes we just got to say, yeah, that's it. I feel it, and it's right. So we shouldn't question things as much.
You have a favorite saint?
Oh, I love St. Francis.
Why?
I don't know whether it's because I grew up on a farm.
Like me?
I love animals, and I've just always loved St. Francis. And when I went to Assisi the first time, it was just like, I just loved it, absolutely loved it. And then I started praying to Carlo Acutis probably 10 years before he was even starting to get really well known.
Why did you pray to him?
For our children. I've always prayed for our children. And he's the one, I don't know why I picked him, but I just thought, well, he's young, video games, he's compassionate, he's caring, and I thought, wow, this is great. And it's amazing. We went back and his body's there, and I was able to be there. And John does talks with the relics in Australia. And our son, John Paul, he's discerning a vocation, and he also goes with first class relics to talk about Carlo Acutis. So I've always had a great devotion to him. I think he's a very powerful saint with the youth.
It's amazing. Did you make the experience when you live, thy will be done in my life? When we live in that intention that we want to live in the divine, well, that things fall into place, that as a living God, we slow down and we see the hand of God in our lives?
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing, I think we all need to slow down, just steady the pace and step back a bit. Life gets too busy.
Be still, I'm God, I
Yeah.
fight for you. Exodus 14:14.
Yep, yep. It's I think sometimes we just don't step back and just take ourselves out of the rat race and just have a quiet moment. You know,
Have a
we
coffee, a
just,
little cake.
yep, I love that. Whenever I have a coffee, I always say a Hail Mary, and then I offer an intention for someone, and then I don't feel so bad about
I
having
learned
coffee.
something about that because I have the coffee often.
So do I.
So I will pray a lot. You write the intentions,
Yeah.
by the way, in the description of the video. We pray for you.
Yep.
Again, why are you so passionate for Christ and Our Lady?
I just think my life was empty without them, and I, you know, and you know, not that I don't love my family. I love my husband, my children, grandchildren. We've got 2 and 3 on the way.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and they're all miracles and blessings. But you just need that thing that only God can give. He sort of, I don't know what the word is, but he just fulfills what you're created for. You know, I just love being a mum and a grandma. I just love it. That's what I love to do, and a wife.
Is
And I love
that
being home cooking, and I just love it. That's just what you know, and I've never been ashamed to say that. I just want to be with my husband, my kids, my family, and then witness to others that that's okay. It's okay to want to be home. So.
And that's simple as that, how to find your vocation, where the most enthusiasm, the most joy is, where you are the most I am who I am, like God says I am who I am.
Yep. Yep.
Simple as that.
I don't need to go looking. John's great at promoting and talking and going out on talks, but I like being in the background and just, you know, being there.
Wow, that's amazing. And what do you tell young women? It's the marriage, they fall apart. What do you tell them? How to have a good marriage? We all need examples who have been in marriage a long time.
Yeah, and all marriages struggle. Ours, John and I have struggled over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think it's just so crucial that you have just God at the center. He's just got to be there. You know, really, there's 3 of you in the marriage. You know, your husband, your wife, and him. He's got to be there. And when things get rough, he'll send someone. Like we have a friend of ours, and he's a psychologist. And over the years, you know, he's helped John and I. But God sent him to help us to get through these, you know, struggles in our marriage and in our lives. And I just think it's so important that to accept that there are going to be struggles. No marriage is perfect. It just can't be. It's not possible. So, and God will send these people to help you. But as long as He's in the center and you come back to Him every time, He's the cement in the relationship. Without Him,
love and truth.
And love and truth. Yeah.
That's God.
It is. It absolutely is.
Like you said, because I asked myself, what is the secret of a good marriage? And you can find so many couples on the internet who talk about it. 45 years, they say the same humor, the same faith, and we are friends.
Yeah.
And you said, I was friend with John.
Yes.
He had a girlfriend or went out, but we were friends.
We were friends for a long time.
And then you asked, is this real to God? Is this truthful? I think if not, you can't get through it. No?
That's right.
Because there are 2 egos coming together.
Yep. No, you always have to pray about everything, I think.
And then it works out.
Yep.
The rosary is powerful. You pray together.
The rosary is yes, we do. Yeah.
Why is the rosary so powerful?
Well, I think it's a chain to Our Lady's heart, and she's the mother of us all. So no woman loves us like Our Lady does. So
you experience that now?
Yeah, I do.
How?
Yeah. I just think, you know, I often think of Kathleen and her looking after Kathleen. You know, she's taking care of our Kathleen until we meet her again, and it gives me great comfort to know that she has Kathleen. You know, she's our mother.
And I can confirm, it was shown to me that she said that she and Jesus takes all these young people directly into the palm of their hands.
Yeah. Yep.
To confirm that she is with them, you know. And you have a favorite spot in Medjugorje you like to go to?
I like the Adoration Chapel. I like a lot of. I just like wandering around, seeing people. I love the Mass, obviously, and I sometimes sit out near the church and watch people go to confession. I just find that incredibly powerful. You know, I really do. The way the priests interact, and you can see that they're responding, that the people respond to the priests that interact and look at them and really listen, and it's beautiful. It's life changing.
Yeah. And at the end, what would you tell people? Why come to Medjugorje one time?
Come to Medjugorje because you'll find peace, and you'll find somewhere where you know. I mean, you can find that at home as well. I'm not saying not everybody can travel, and not everybody feels the need to travel. But I just found peace here, and I just found answers that, for me, I couldn't find at home.
Yeah.
And then I just take that back home. And I never thought I'd come back. I haven't been here for 10 years. And I remember saying, to Our Lady, I don't feel the need, that no, I don't need to go back now. You know, I feel it's okay. I don't really need. And even when John suggested it, I said, it's a bit out of the way, and we've been 3-4 times. And then I thought, no, this is both our trips. You know, he should.
I want to stay with the kangaroo.
Yeah, I have to stay with the kangaroo. So he really wants to come, so I will go. And then I realised, well, I am called. As soon as I came, I just thought, we were both meant to be here together. So.
And you pray the rosary with your husband?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, we do.
And
so powerful.
So powerful?
Oh, yeah.
In which way? Why is it so powerful?
Like I said, I just think it's like that chain that ties you to Our Lady, and it's just a link to her, and it holds the life of Jesus, really. So I just think and I feel comfort in praying it for our family, for the world, for everybody, really. It's just something, someone all around the world is saying it all the time. There's a rosary said somewhere in the world every split second. And that's beautiful. It joins us all together.
And you feel that the Catholic Church is a big family when you're here in Medjugorje, an international family?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
the kangaroo meets the BMW or the Mercedes here at the table?
Yeah, it does. It goes around the world.
So what can we say at the end? We are inviting people to come, no?
Oh, I think, if you can, pray to God and to Our Lady. And if you're invited, she'll let you know. She will let you know that you're to come. So.
And at the end, give again hope. You lost a child. There are a lot of people, they go through a lot of stuff. What do you tell them? What should they do?
I just think give your heart to Our Lady. Really, just give it all to her. Surrender everything to her. Some days it's easier than other days, but that child is always with you. Always, there's I found out just a few years ago that it's a medical fact that at the moment of conception, that the cells that you have, that the child has, are retained in the mother. And that if you have a wound, those cells go directly to that wound to try and help. That child is always with you. That child never leaves you. And not physically, not spiritually. And that gave me great comfort to think Kathleen physically is with me as well as spiritually. And that really helped me. And I think that can help. To think that they're trying to heal you, I just think it's beautiful. And they never leave you, even though, we do miss them. I miss Kathleen every single day, probably most moments of every single day. But I know where she is. I know who she's with, and I know that she's happy and joyful, and she's interceding for us, and she will always do that until we get to meet her again.
Yeah. Wow, powerful. And the Heavenly Mommy is good. You experience that in Medjugorje?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
How do you experience that? Is it in the air or?
No, I just think it's an inward thing. I think it's something in your heart that you just sense. I just know. I know as a mum that she's here and she's with me.
So come and experience. That's what we say to all who are watching here. And
yes,
how can you have that joy? You have a lot of pain, but you have joy, you laugh.
Yeah.
How does it come?
I don't know. I just, no, I guess it's, God gives you a grace. He gives you a grace sometimes. And because I have quiet moments where I can't have anyone around me, and you just think about her and you're sad. You're very sad. But you also know that, that she is with God and she is the happiest she's ever been. She's joyful. So I'm trying not to feel too bad about that. But it's just human, you know. You just
it's the other side. I said after the death of my brother, it's the other side of the coin of love is pain.
Yep.
But the
is,
love is
Yep.
overwhelming.
It
No,
is.
it is.
Yeah, and you think about, like, our children are getting married, having children, and you think about that. You think, well, I will never go to her wedding. John will never walk her down the aisle. I'll never hold her children. And that's normal. That's a grieving process, and we will all go through that. Every time there's a wedding, it's joyful. We've had 3 weddings and 2 grandchildren, and it's incredibly joyful. But all of our girls, when they got married, and Kathleen's best friends, they all wear a photo of Kathleen, and they have it on their bouquets, all the bridesmaids and the bride, so that they take her with them when they get married. And she's never left out. She's
So
just never
beautiful.
left out. Yeah.
Oh, you touched my heart. What can I say? Thank you for that beautiful interview.
Oh, no,
And
thank
I
you.
prayed for you. I understand, you know,
Yes.
a bit. I'm only the brother, not the father.
painful.
And there he is, the man again. He wants to come in and say something too.
No, we've got to tell you, before we go, there was a great priest friend of ours who gave a great sacrifice to our family. So would you like to tell me a little bit
You
what
can
happened?
talk about that.
I was back, I think, around 2012, around that time, when Kathleen had passed away. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Take it like that in the hand.
Yeah. When Kathleen had passed away, there was a great priest friend of ours called Father Dennis Ward, and he was a great help to us. And from memory, it was that Karen had got quite sick. She was having all sorts of tests done, and the doctors were worried that it was could be cancerous, very serious. So I rang up Father Ward, who was a Capuchin priest, great friend of mine, and I said, could you please pray for Karen? And he said he would. I was watching my son John Paul play football at the time. I always remember it was on a Saturday morning. He said, could you come over? I'd like to talk to you about it. So within a few days I came over, within a week or so, and he said to me, I've got some news that you might be interested in hearing. I said, what is that? He said, I've just been diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer. I said, yeah, that was quick. And he said, when you asked me to pray for Karen and you told me about her sufferings, I went in front of the tabernacle and I asked our Lord, could I take on Karen's sufferings? I couldn't believe it. And Karen's witness, she tells it herself on YouTube. If you Google Karen Canavan, she'll tell her witness on Father Ward from her point of view what happened, which is better than I can explain it. And so Father Ward told us, and I said, why did you do that? He said, because first of all, your 6 children, they need a mother. You need a wife. You'd be hopeless without Karen. And Australia needs divine mercy. And he died within about
12 months.
12 months. He passed away. So he gave his life for my wife. And it was such an incredible gift that he's given. There's a number of people in Australia that know what he did for our family. And we're always very grateful for Father Dennis Ward for the sacrifice that he made, not only for me, my wife, our family, and for divine mercy.
And we need to pray for the priests. It's
Yes,
so
we do.
important. Without the priest, there's no gateway to heaven.
No.
That's it, you know.
Saint Faustina said that the 2 pearls that are close to his heart are the religious and the priest and religious. And the power of one priest. A priest can change thousands of souls, but a priest can also turn thousands of souls away. And Our Lady came to Saint Faustina once as a mother of God of priests, because they are so powerful. And the priests that come here to Medjugorje, even the priests that we know at home, Karen, it's when they come here, they may come as pilgrims like us, but it's when they step into the confessional as the administrator of mercy, that's when they can go back to people and say, there's something here in Medjugorje. It's not your normal shopping list type confession. And Father Ward was in many ways a spiritual director to so many people back in Melbourne, Australia. He was at St. Anthony's Shrine, which is a shrine to St. Anthony, and it was devastating for so many people, but it was very hard for Karen when he passed away, because how did you feel?
Yeah, well, very difficult, because he was so special to so many people. So it was very hard. Yeah. Mm.
But one gift that we not long after Father Ward passed away, our son John Paul was in the back room where he sleeps, and he came out to Karen and said, "You tell me what he said."
He said that a man had come to him, and yeah, well, he thought, yeah, and I asked him, who was it? Who came to you? And he said, well, I don't know. And I said, well, if he comes back again,
He said he was dressed, had a brown dress on.
yeah, if he comes back again, then ask him who he is. And a few days later, he came out and said, well, he came back last night. And I said, did you ask? And he said, yes, I did. And he said, I said, what did he say when you asked him? And he said, I'm Father Pio, and you are to be a priest. Yeah.
Wow, I get
And
goosebumps.
just this year on Divine Mercy Sunday, our son John Paul entered the Armidale Diocese his first year as a sermon as priest and religious. So if it's God's will that John Paul becomes a priest, we're praying over here that our ladies will guide him and lift him closer to her heart. So it was a great gift. So Father Ward gave his life for us, and maybe in God's time, you never know, our son John Paul may be able to minister the sacraments of life to whoever, but we don't know. It's God's will. As he said, I don't know, but he's taken that and he entered on Divine Mercy Sunday. So he was only 9 years of age at the time when he came. So it's really a great blessing for our family, regardless of whether he's becomes priest or not. He's followed his call. He came here to Medjugorje only for the World the Youth Day Congress last year, I think it was last year. And he said when he was sitting out there in confessionals, he looked around and he saw this priest absolve someone. It was like interiorly he heard, you can do that. I can do that. So he went back and entered this community, and they spend a lot of time in prayer, a lot of work with the youth. He's great. He's only 24 years of age, a great young boy. So we're very proud. So this has all came, as much as we've had tragedy in our life, the great sacrifice that Father Ward gave for our family, Karen giving her life, I would have been hopeless with that. As he said, you'd be useless without Karen. Mm-hmm. So we're very blessed.
Amazing. And did you see a change when Father died in your grief?
In what?
In your grief when Father Ward died?
It was very hard. It was, yeah, it was very difficult because I felt like it was my fault that he'd gone.
But the effect of it, did it have a positive effect on you, that you were lifted a bit the burden? Or?
I think for a long time it was just grief, to be honest, and guilt and grief. Yeah, but you know, as someone said to me, it was a sacrifice he asked for. He was willing, and the friend of ours who knew him very well said he took it on for a lot of people as well. So it was something he wanted to do, and he chose to do it. Yeah.
And when we met the family at the funeral, his sister came up to Karen and said, I know how much my brother loved you, and I know what he did for you. And he wrote everything down. So he really was a living saint in our eyes. I mean, I was trying to tell Karen, look, it's not something that we asked for this, but that was such a gift that he would kneel in front of the tabernacle and say, Lord, if I could take on Karen's suffering, he would. But he said to me, I never thought our Lord would hear me, but he did. So he said, I accept God's will. We tried to go and see him when he was passing away, but we weren't allowed in, which we can understand. But you did get to go to his bedside before that. You thanked him, didn't you?
Yeah, Joseph and I went to visit him, and I said I don't know what to say except thank you, and he said, "Oh, it's my privilege," is what he said.
Goosebumps all over. Touched my heart.
Yeah.
What can I say? This is powerful. You see how Our Lady brought us together through the kangaroo in the room?
She was hopping in.
Yep. What can I say? Thank you so much for that interview.
My pleasure. God bless.